Ip Man steadies himself against the wall. He looks at his student, and then he smiles. The fight is over. The student surpassing the master is a teacher's greatest achievement. Or is it his greatest nightmare? History records that Grandmaster Ip Man taught Bruce Lee everything he knew. Wing Chun, discipline, the art of stillness. But what if history is incomplete? What if the Grand Master kept one final, deadly secret for himself? In the red corner, the evolution, Bruce Lee, the man who broke the rules to become a god of combat. In the blue corner, the tradition, Ip Man, the immovable object who proved that softness can break bone. This isn't just a fight simulation. This is a philosophical war. Can the modern speed of the dragon destroy the ancient precision of the master? Or is the master always the master? The simulation begins now. To understand the violence we are about to witness, we must transport ourselves back to the gritty, neon-soaked streets of 1950s Hong Kong. This wasn't a movie set. It was a war zone ruled by rooftop gangs. And in the middle of this chaos stood a young troublemaker named Bruce Lee. Before he was a philosopher, Bruce was the little dragon, a street punk with razor blades hidden in his shoes and bloody knuckles. He wasn't fighting for trophies, he was fighting for survival. His parents, terrified he would end up in a shallow grave, turned to the only man who could tame him, Ip Man. Ip Man was the polar opposite of Bruce, a refined gentleman who survived the Japanese occupation. He spoke a language of devastation with his hands. When Bruce walked into Ip Man's school, he was arrogant. He wanted to learn how to hurt people faster. But Ip Man didn't teach him violence. He taught him physics. He taught him that fighting wasn't about anger, it was about mechanics. For years, the master and student were inseparable, a father-son bond forged in sweat. But as we know, every son must eventually rebel against the father to find his own identity, and Bruce's rebellion would shatter the martial arts world forever. Let's strip away the myths and look at the raw machinery of these combatants. Physically, they are a study in contrast. Bruce Lee, the Wire. At 5'7" and 135 pounds, Bruce was built like a high-tension steel cable. With body fat near zero, he was an anatomically perfect specimen of fast-twitch muscle fiber. Bruce was one of the first to embrace modern conditioning, weightlifting, running, and nutrition. His defining trait was neuromuscular efficiency. He could summon 100% of his power in a microsecond, a Ferrari engine inside a human chassis. Ip Man, the Root. The Grand Master stood roughly 5'5", weighing perhaps 130 pounds. He didn't look like a killer, he looked like a scholar. But his power came from a different source, structure. Ip Man possessed a quality known as rooting. By aligning his skeleton perfectly with gravity, he became impossible to move. Pushing him was like pushing the floor itself. His forearms, conditioned by decades of wooden dummy practice, were like iron bars. Bruce Lee was kinetic energy, always moving. Ip Man was potential energy, still, grounded, and terrifyingly heavy upon impact. If we asked the people who knew them best, what would they say about this matchup? Let's look at the testimony of three key figures. First, Wong Leung, Ip Man's top student and the man who did most of the hands-on training with Bruce. Wong famously said, "If you want to learn to fight, don't ask the master, ask the guy who fights." He respected Ip Man's perfection, but acknowledged Bruce's obsession with reality. He would likely bet on Bruce's adaptability in the street, but warned that in close quarters, Ip Man was impenetrable. Second, William Chang, a close friend of Bruce. He described Ip Man as a mirror. He didn't react, he reflected. Chang would argue that Bruce's aggression could be his downfall. Bruce is fast, but Master Ip is already there. You cannot be faster than someone who doesn't need to move. Third, Dan Inosanto, Bruce's best friend. He knew Bruce's deep reverence for Ip Man. Inosanto might suggest that psychologically, Bruce could never go 100% against his Sifu. The mental block of fighting his father figure might be the dragon's biggest weakness.
For a true test, we must eliminate the ravages of time. We are summoning the prime versions of both warriors. Blue corner, prime Ip Man, the Foshan era, age 40. This is the man who reportedly defeated 10 karate black belts in a single bout. His reflexes are at their peak. His sensitivity, feeling intention through touch, is supernatural. He fights with economy of motion. He never takes 2 steps when one will do. Red corner, prime Bruce Lee, the Dragon era, age 32. This is the Bruce Lee of 1973. He has evolved beyond Wing Chun into Jeet Kune Do. He has absorbed boxing footwork, judo grappling, and high kicks. He is the ultimate hybrid. His stamina is limitless, whereas Ip Man is a sprinter designed to end fights in seconds. The divide is clear. Speed, Bruce Lee. Power, Bruce Lee. Technique, Ip Man. Experience, Ip Man. It is the classic battle of youth versus wisdom. This fight cannot happen in a sports arena. It belongs in the shadows. The location, a traditional candlelit dojo in Hong Kong, midnight. The floor is polished hardwood, slick and unforgiving. No audience, just the ghosts of the ancestors watching from the walls. The rules, no rules, but critically, no gloves. Modern gloves protect hands, but limit fingers. Ip Man's Wing Chun relies on fingers, strikes to the throat, seizing nerves. Gloves would neutralize his deadliest weapons. Without gloves, this becomes a visceral, bone-on-bone collision. Also, the space is tight, a 10 by 10 foot square. This negates Bruce's Ali shuffle. He cannot run. He is forced to step into the phone booth. He must fight Ip Man in the exact range where Ip Man is king. Close quarters combat. The atmosphere is thick. Bruce Lee bows deeply. Ip Man nods, calm as a lake. Then, explosion. Phase 1, the blitz. Bruce opens with his non-telegraphic lead punch, faster than a blink. Ip Man doesn't block. He uses Pak Sao to deflect the energy, letting the fist graze his ear. Simultaneously, Ip Man drives a vertical punch into Bruce's chest. Thud. Bruce stumbles. He realizes linear speed isn't enough against a man who controls the Centerline. Phase 2, the trap. Bruce closes the distance. They enter Chi Sao range. Sticky hands. It's a blur of forearms. Bruce tries to trap Ip Man's hands, but Ip Man is like water. Every grab dissolves into a strike. Ip Man unleashes a chain punch volley. Da, 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 da. 4 hits land on Bruce's ribs in under a second. The Grand Master is teaching a painful lesson. Do not try to swim with a shark in the deep ocean. Phase 3, the evolution. Bruce is hurt. He realizes he cannot beat Ip Man in Wing Chun, so he breaks the rhythm. Ip Man expects the hands. Bruce gives him the feet. Bruce feints a low kick. Ip Man drops his guard to check it. It's a trap. Bruce springs up, launching a high hook kick. Crack! The heel connects with Ip Man's shoulder. The Grand Master loses his root. The structure is broken. Bruce sees the opening. He lunges in, not with technique, but with raw power.
He delivers the 1-inch punch directly to the solar plexus. The impact lifts Ip Man off his feet. He slides back, hitting the wall. Silence. Ip Man steadies himself against the wall. He looks at his student, and then he smiles. The fight is over. The reality: if this fight lasts 30 seconds, Ip Man wins. His defense is too tight. In the initial exchange, the master's structure dominates the student's speed. But if it turns into a war, if it goes past 2 minutes, Bruce Lee wins. His conditioning, athleticism, and willingness to break tradition give him the edge. Ip Man fights to preserve the art. Bruce Lee fights to survive. In a street fight, survival usually beats art. But perhaps Bruce Lee wins because he finally understood the lesson. Ip Man told him to be water. By defeating his master using a mix of styles, Bruce Lee honored him. He proved that the water had finally become powerful enough to crash through the rock. The student wins, but he bows lower than ever before. What is your verdict? Does the Grand Master's precision neutralize the dragon's chaos? This debate has raged for decades. Now it's your turn to finish it in the comments. Subscribe to Legacy Untold TV. The history books are being rewritten.